Ladies and gentlemen, today we are gathered here to talk about something that has the power to bring out the best in us, to stand the test of time, and to create a legacy of love: marriage. Marriage is not just about saying "I do" on a special day. It's about choosing each other every single day. It's about weathering storms together, celebrating victories, and growing side by side. Yet in a world where distractions are endless, commitments feel temporary, and relationships are often tested, how do we ensure that our love not only survives, but thrives? The truth is, a strong marriage isn't built on luck. It's built on intention, effort, and timeless wisdom. Today, I want to share with you some of the most profound, time-tested advice that has strengthened countless marriages. Whether you are newlyweds, have been together for decades, or are looking forward to your future in marriage, these principles will serve as a guiding light in your journey of love. So I invite you to listen, not just with your ears, but with your heart. Because the words I am about to share could be the key to unlocking a deeper, more fulfilling connection with the person you love. If there's one thing that can make or break a marriage, it's communication. Not just talking, but truly communicating. The way two people speak to each other, listen to each other, and understand each other will define the depth of their connection. You see, love is not just about the grand gestures, the romantic words, or even the years spent together. It's about the daily conversations, the unspoken understanding, and the ability to truly hear each other's heart. A strong marriage is built on the foundation of honest and open communication. But here's the challenge. Communication isn't always easy. We all come into a marriage with different backgrounds, different ways of expressing ourselves, and different ways of handling conflict. Some of us were raised in homes where feelings were openly shared, while others grew up in environments where emotions were kept inside. And sometimes, even the person we love the most can feel like a stranger when we don't know how to express what's truly inside of us. You see, words hold power. They have the ability to build up or tear down. They can bring life to a marriage or slowly chip away at its foundation. A simple "I appreciate you" can lift the heart of a weary spouse, while a careless remark spoken in frustration can leave a scar that lasts for years. That's why it's not just about what we say, but how we say it. Respect, kindness, and patience must be woven into every conversation, even in the moments of disagreement. Especially in the moments of disagreement. Heck now. Let's talk about listening, because true communication isn't just about speaking, it's about understanding. Too often, when our spouse is talking, we're not really listening. We're waiting for our turn to speak, forming our response in our mind before they've even finished their sentence. And when that happens, we miss something important. We miss their heart. We miss their fears, their joys, their struggles, and their needs. We miss the opportunity to truly know them, to walk beside them, and to love them in the way they need to be loved. Sometimes communication isn't just about words, it's about presence. It's about putting down the phone, turning off the distractions, and truly being present in the moment. It's about looking your spouse in the eye and saying, "I hear you, I see you. You matter to me." Because at the core of every human heart is the desire to be known, to be valued, and to be understood. And when you create a marriage where both people feel truly heard, you create a bond that is unshakable. But let me tell you, communication is not just about the good times. It's about the hard times too. It's about being able to have the difficult conversations, the uncomfortable talks, the moments where vulnerability is required. A strong marriage doesn't avoid tough conversations. It embraces them with love and grace. Because when two people can talk through their struggles with honesty and respect, they don't just overcome challenges, they grow closer because of them. You see, communication is the bridge that connects two hearts. But that bridge must be built intentionally, brick by brick, with every kind word, every moment of patience, every act of understanding. And sometimes that means humbling ourselves. It means saying, I was wrong, I'm sorry. It means choosing peace over pride and love over being right. Because in the end, a marriage isn't about winning arguments, it's about winning each other's hearts over and over again. And let's not forget, communication isn't just about solving problems. It's about celebrating life together. It's about sharing your dreams, your hopes, your laughter. It's about talking about the little things, the stories of the day, the memories of the past, the excitement for the future. It's about never losing sight of the joy in the journey. So if you want a marriage that stands the test of time, make communication a priority. Speak with love, listen with patience, and always seek to understand before seeking to be understood. Because when two people commit to truly hearing each other's hearts, nothing can break the bond they share. Trust is the foundation of every strong marriage. Without it, even the deepest love will struggle to survive. You see, love may bring two people together, but it is trust that keeps them there. It is trust that allows two hearts to beat as one, to lean on each other without fear, and to know, beyond any doubt, that no matter what happens, they will stand together. But trust is not something that simply appears in a marriage. It is built, it is nurtured, it is strengthened over time through actions, through words, through consistency. And trust, once broken, is not easily restored. That's why we must guard it, protect it, and treat it as one of the most sacred parts of our relationship. Because when trust is strong, marriage is strong. When trust is unshakable, love can flourish in ways that nothing else can replace. Now, trust is not just about faithfulness, though that is certainly a crucial part of it. Trust is also about reliability. It's about knowing that your spouse will be there, not just in the good times, but in the difficult ones. It's about keeping your promises, following through on your commitments, and being a person of your word. You see, it's easy to say, I love you. It's easy to make vows on a wedding day. But the real question is, can your spouse count on you when life gets hard? Can they trust you to stand by them when the storms come? Can they trust you to be a safe place when the world feels overwhelming? That's what real trust looks like. Trust is also built in the small moments, in the quiet decisions, in the daily choices that often go unnoticed. It's in choosing honesty over convenience. It's in being transparent when it would be easier to hide. It's in speaking truth even when it's uncomfortable. Because trust is not built in grand gestures. It is built in the everyday moments of faithfulness, integrity, and commitment. But let's talk about something important. Trust is not just about what we do, it's also about what we don't do. You see, trust can be broken in subtle ways, not just in betrayal, but in neglect. When we stop prioritizing our spouse, when we stop showing up emotionally, when we start putting our careers, our hobbies, or even our own desires ahead of our marriage, trust begins to weaken. Because trust is not just about being true in the big things. It's about being faithful in the small things as well. And let me say this, trust requires vulnerability. It requires openness. It requires a willingness to let your spouse see the real you. You see, you cannot fully trust someone you do not fully know. And you cannot be fully known if you are not willing to be fully seen. That means being honest about your fears, your struggles, your dreams, and your failures. It means creating a marriage where both people feel safe enough to be their true selves without fear of judgment or rejection. But here's the reality. Every marriage will face moments that test trust. Every couple will go through seasons where doubt tries to creep in, where mistakes are made, where wounds need to be healed. And in those moments, we have a choice. We can choose to let fear win, to let pride build walls, to let past mistakes define the future, or we can choose to fight for trust, to rebuild what was broken, to extend grace, to seek forgiveness, to commit once again to standing together. Because let me tell you, trust is not about perfection. No one is perfect. No marriage is perfect. Trust is about choosing each other despite imperfections. It is about knowing that even in the struggles, even in the failures, even in the hard times, you are still choosing love. And that choice, made day after day, is what builds a marriage that lasts. Protect trust that stands strong. Protect trust with everything you have. Be honest. Be faithful. Be dependable. Show your spouse, not just with words, but with actions, that they can count on you today, tomorrow, and for the rest of your lives. Because a marriage built on trust is a marriage that nothing can break. Marriage is not a solo journey. It is not about two people living separate lives under the same roof. It is about becoming a team, two individuals with different strengths, different perspectives, and different experiences, coming together with one purpose, one vision, one commitment to walk this road together. You see, a strong marriage is not built on the idea of me versus you. It is built on us, on the understanding that we are on the same side, fighting for the same goal, building the same future. And here's the challenge. Life has a way of pulling people apart. The demands of work, the responsibilities of family, the stresses of everyday life can create distance between a husband and wife. And if we are not intentional, we begin to operate more like business partners than life partners. We divide up the tasks, we handle the schedules, we take care of the bills, but somewhere along the way we forget to take care of each other. And when that happens, the foundation of teamwork begins to crack. That is why we must always remember that marriage is not just about surviving, it is about thriving. It is about standing together in every season, in every trial, in every victory. It is about saying, no matter what comes, we will face it together. Because when two people work as a team, there is no challenge too great, no burden too heavy, no storm too strong to overcome. Teamwork in marriage means supporting each other's dreams. It means celebrating each other's successes instead of feeling threatened by them. It means being the loudest cheerleader when your spouse is winning and the strongest shoulder to lean on when they are struggling. It means recognizing that one person's victory is not separate from the other. It is shared. Because when you truly become a team, what lifts one lifts both. But teamwork is not just about the good times. It is easy to stand together when everything is going well. The real test of a marriage is how well two people stand together when life gets hard. Because let me tell you, there will be moments when stress is high, when finances are tight, when unexpected struggles come knocking at your door. And in those moments, you will have a choice. You can turn against each other, blaming, criticizing, and retreating into isolation. Or you can turn toward each other, choosing to fight the battle side by side. And that choice, made in the hardest moments, is what defines the strength of a marriage. But let's be honest, teamwork is not always easy. Two people will not always see things the same way. There will be differences in opinions, different ways of handling problems, different approaches to life, and that is okay. Because teamwork does not mean always agreeing. It means learning to value each other's perspectives. It means respecting differences, not resenting them. It means finding solutions together instead of trying to win individual battles. And when that happens, when two people choose unity over division, they become an unstoppable force. And let me say this, teamwork also means carrying each other's burdens. There will be days when your spouse is weary, when they don't have the strength to keep going. And in those moments, it is your job to step in, to lift them up, to remind them that they are not alone. Because there will come a day when you will be the one who is struggling, and you will need them to do the same for you. That is what a true partnership looks like. Not just being there for each other when it is convenient, but being there when it is costly, when it is hard, when it requires sacrifice. But perhaps one of the most important aspects of teamwork in marriage is learning to dream together. You see, couples who stop dreaming together often start drifting apart. When life becomes nothing more than a routine, when the excitement of the future fades, the connection between two people can weaken. That is why you must always have shared goals, shared aspirations, shared plans for the future. Because when you are working towards something together, when you are building something bigger than yourselves, you create a bond that nothing can break. So if you want a marriage that lasts, if you want a love that grows deeper with time, then make the decision to be a team in everything. Stand together in the struggles, rejoice together in the victories, support each other in the dreams, and never lose sight of the fact that you are stronger together than you could ever be apart. Because when two people commit to walking through life as one, there is nothing they cannot overcome. Love is not just something you feel, it's something you do. It's not just in the big moments, the anniversaries or the grand gestures. It's in the small, everyday acts of kindness that show your spouse they are valued, appreciated, and loved. A strong marriage is not built on a single declaration of love, but on a lifetime of consistent expressions of care and gratitude. Because when two people truly see and appreciate each other, their love deepens in ways that no words can fully capture. But let's be honest, life gets busy. The demands of work, raising children, responsibilities, and the pressures of daily life can make it easy to take each other for granted. We assume our spouse knows how much we love them, how much we appreciate all they do, how much they mean to us. But unspoken love, no matter how deeply felt, can often go unnoticed. That's why we must be intentional about showing it. A simple thank you for the small things, a thoughtful note, an unexpected compliment. These are the things that breathe life into a marriage. These are the things that remind your spouse, I see you, I value you, I don't take you for granted. And let me tell you, affection is just as important as appreciation. Human beings were created with the need to be loved, not just with words, but with touch, with presence, with connection. A gentle hand on the shoulder, a warm hug at the end of the day, the way you look at your spouse when they walk into the room. These small acts of affection build a bond that cannot be broken. And yet over time, many couples let this slip away. They stop holding hands, stop embracing just because, stop looking into each other's eyes with the same admiration they once had. But love does not fade because time passes. Love fades when it is not nurtured. And I know what some people might be thinking, but what if I don't feel appreciated in return? What if I'm the only one making the effort? Let me tell you, love is not about keeping score. It's not about waiting for the other person to do something first. True love gives without measuring. It loves without conditions. And what often happens is that when one person begins to consistently show appreciation and affection, the other responds in kind, has a way of multiplying. But even if it takes time, even if it is not immediately reciprocated, choosing to love, to appreciate, to cherish your spouse will always be the right choice. But let me also say this, appreciation and affection are not just for the easy days. They are needed most in the difficult ones. There will be moments when life is hard, when stress is high, when tempers are short, and it will be easy to withhold affection, to stop saying the kind words, to let frustration take over. But those are the moments when your spouse needs your love the most. When they feel overwhelmed, remind them that they are not alone. When they doubt themselves, speak life into them. When they are struggling, be the one who lifts them up. Because love is not just about celebrating the good times. It's about standing firm in the hard ones. And let's talk about the power of words. Words can heal and words can wound. What you speak over your spouse matters. If all they hear from you are complaints, criticism, or silence, their heart will grow weary. But when they hear encouragement, affirmation, words that remind them they are loved, they will thrive. Never underestimate the power of telling your spouse how much they mean to you, how proud you are of them, how grateful you are for them. These words do not just fill their heart, they strengthen the foundation of your marriage. And I'll tell you something. Love is not just about the moments when it comes easily. It's about the choice to keep showing up, to keep giving, to keep cherishing, even when the emotions fluctuate. Feelings may rise and fall, but love that lasts is built on action, on commitment, on the daily decision to appreciate and nurture the relationship. So if you want a marriage that grows stronger with time, make appreciation and affection a daily habit. Look for the good in your spouse and remind them of it often. Show love in the small things, in the everyday moments, in the ways that make them feel seen and valued. Because a marriage where love is actively expressed is a marriage that will not only endure, but will flourish.
Every marriage will face conflict. There is no way around it. Two people, no matter how much they love each other, will not always see eye to eye. They will have disagreements, frustrations, and moments of tension. But let me tell you, conflict is not what destroys a marriage. It is how we handle conflict that determines whether love grows stronger or begins to unravel. The difference between a marriage that stands the test of time and one that crumbles is not the absence of problems. It is the presence of respect in the midst of them. Too often, couples enter into arguments with the goal of winning. They want to prove their point, defend their position, and come out on top. But in marriage, if one person wins and the other loses, the marriage itself suffers. You are not opponents in a battle. You are partners on the same team. And if you lose sight of that, if you let pride take over, if you let anger drive your words, you will do more harm than any disagreement ever could. Because most of the time, it is not the issue itself that does the damage, it is the way we handle it. Words spoken in frustration can cut deeper than we realize. A sharp remark, a careless insult, a tone of voice filled with sarcasm or disrespect. These things may be forgotten in the moment, but they can leave lasting wounds in the heart of the person you love. And the more these moments pile up, the more distance is created. That is why, no matter how upset you are, no matter how strongly you feel about something, respect must never be lost. You can disagree, you can express your frustrations, you can stand firm in your convictions, but you must do it with love. You must do it in a way that honors your spouse and protects the heart of your marriage. And let me tell you, listening is just as important as speaking. Too often, when we're in the middle of a disagreement, we are not really listening. We are just waiting for our turn to respond. We are forming our argument in our mind, ready to fire back, rather than truly hearing what our spouse is saying. And when that happens, communication breaks down. Because the goal of a conversation should never be to simply reply, it should be to understand. It should be to get to the heart of what your spouse is feeling, what they are needing, what they are trying to express. And if both people approach conflict with the mindset of understanding rather than attacking, the outcome will always be different. And let me say this, Sometimes you will have to be the one to choose peace first. Sometimes you will have to be the one to take a deep breath, to let go of the need to be right, to extend grace even when you don't feel like it. Because love is not about keeping score. It is not about who apologizes first, who gives in first, who has the upper hand. Love is about choosing the relationship over the argument, choosing unity over division, choosing to fight for each other instead of against each other. And that choice, made again and again, is what keeps a marriage strong. But let's talk about something even deeper: forgiveness. Because no matter how much you love someone, no matter how much you try to handle conflict well, there will be moments when mistakes are made. There will be times when words are spoken that shouldn't have been, when actions hurt more than intended, when disappointment creeps in. And in those moments, the question is not whether your spouse deserves forgiveness. The question is whether your marriage is worth more than the mistake. Because if every wrong is held onto, if every flaw is remembered, if every failure is used as ammunition in the next argument, the weight of resentment will become too heavy for any marriage to bear. But when forgiveness is given freely, when grace is extended, when love chooses to move forward rather than stay stuck in the past, healing happens. And healing strengthens the bond between two people in ways that nothing else can. Now, does that mean we ignore problems? No. Does it mean we avoid hard conversations? No. A strong marriage is not one where conflict is brushed under the rug. It is one where it is dealt with in a way that builds rather than breaks. It means facing issues with honesty, with patience, with a commitment to working through them together. It means knowing that even in the hardest moments, even when tensions are high, the love you share is worth more than any disagreement. So, if you want a marriage that lasts, learn to navigate conflict with respect. Speak with love, listen with understanding, choose peace over pride, and always, always fight for the relationship rather than against each other. Because a marriage that learns to handle conflict well is a marriage that will stand the test of time. A strong marriage is not something that happens by chance. It is something that is built with intention, with effort, with a daily commitment to growing together rather than drifting apart. And one of the greatest dangers to any marriage is complacency, the belief that love will take care of itself, that the bond you share will remain strong without effort, that what you have today will last forever without being nurtured. But love, like anything of great value, requires care, it requires investment, it requires a willingness to continually grow together rather than settle into a place of routine and distance. Too many couples start their marriage full of passion, full of excitement, full of dreams for the future, only to wake up years later feeling more like strangers than soulmates. And it does not happen overnight. It happens in the small, unnoticed moments, when conversations become shorter, when affection becomes rare, when priorities shift away from each other and toward everything else, the job, the kids, the responsibilities. They all begin to take center stage, and before long, the marriage itself is placed on the back burner, and then one day two people realize that though they still live under the same roof, their hearts have slowly grown apart. But it does not have to be that way. Because a marriage that is continually nurtured is a marriage that will not only survive, it will thrive. Growing together means making time for each other. And I don't mean time spent in the same room on separate devices, distracted by everything else. I mean intentional time. Time to talk, to connect, to enjoy each other's presence without the noise of the world pulling you in different directions. Life will always be busy. There will always be demands on your attention. But when something is truly important, you make time for it. And your marriage should never be something that gets whatever is left over after everything else has been taken care of. It should be something that is prioritized, protected, and continually strengthened. Let me tell you, learning together is one of the greatest ways to grow together. A marriage that stops learning is a marriage that stops evolving. That means learning more about each other, even after years of being together. People change, seasons change, life changes, and in every stage, there is something new to discover about your spouse, something new to appreciate, something new to understand. But it also means learning beyond each other, growing in wisdom, in character, in faith, in the things that shape you as individuals so that you can be stronger as a couple. A marriage where both people are committed to growing, to becoming better, to deepening their understanding of life and love, is a marriage that will never grow stagnant. And let's talk about one of the most powerful ways to keep a marriage strong, keeping the friendship alive. Because the deepest love is not just built on romance, it is built on a foundation of friendship. It is built on laughter, on shared experiences, on a connection that goes beyond physical attraction and reaches into the heart of companionship. That means having fun together, creating memories, finding joy in each other's company. It means never losing sight of the fact that before you were husband and wife, you were two people who chose each other, who enjoyed each other, who found something in one another that made life richer and fuller, and that friendship, when nurtured, will carry a marriage through every season. But here's something important. Growing together also means growing through challenges. No marriage is without trials. No relationship is free from struggles. But the couples who stand the test of time are the ones who use those struggles to strengthen their bond rather than weaken it. They face hardships hand in hand. They learn from their mistakes. They allow difficulties to deepen their commitment rather than shake it. Because the reality is, you will either grow together through life's challenges or you will grow apart because of them. And the difference is in the choice to fight for each other rather than against each other. To see every hardship as an opportunity to become stronger as a team. And let me say this, one of the most beautiful things about a strong marriage is that it becomes an example for others. When two people love each other well, when they remain committed through every season, when they show the world what it looks like to build a marriage on trust, respect, and intentional growth, they inspire those around them. They give hope to others who are struggling. They prove that lasting love is not just an idea. It is a reality that can be built when two people make the decision every single day to grow together rather than grow apart. So, if you want a marriage that stands the test of time, never stop investing in it. Never stop learning, never stop laughing, never stop pursuing each other the way you did in the beginning. Make the choice every day to grow together, to deepen your love, to strengthen your bond. Because a marriage that is continually nurtured is a marriage that will not only last, but will flourish in ways more beautiful than you ever imagined.